All we are is dust in the wind, or maybe willows in the wind, or maybe there's just a new champion named Willow in Paladins. I'm sorry, all these references don't mean anything to you, but they sure do to those who are interested in the newest champion to enter the realm, Willow. The newest AoE-oriented damage champion to grace the realm with her presence is going to be introduced in OB49, and it's an exciting time for those who've been interested in mixing up their damage options. Oh, and if you want to fly, I mean, yeah, that happens too. We'll get to the skills in just a second, but do want to mention that this is another episode of Raynday Gaming. My name is Raynday, of course, and if you like the video, leave a like, comment your thoughts on Willow after you've seen some of the skills and what you think she's going to bring to the realm when she gets released. Her personality is playful, it's crass, it's energetic, and it's badass the way that she goes about damaging champions on the point and in an area so effectively and still keeping this lighthearted attitude with it. Without further ado, let's jump into her skills so you can see exactly what this fairy's bringing into battle. A lot of the identity and core emphasis of Willow started and maybe even ends with her left mouse button. The Wand of Overgrowth is where she shoots her basic attacks, and this wand fires a projectile that deals 500 damage in an area around the explosion. In many ways, this is directly opposite to what a Fusillade Drogos would do, whereas he hits incredibly hard from a direct impact and hits a little bit in an AoE if you miss a round. She doesn't hit incredibly hard or different if you directly impact them with your weapon. Her benefit and her value to a team fight and a team composition is being able to hit multiple enemies for a decent amount very consistently, and that brings an entirely different element, a entirely different tactic to a damage class. This character really is balanced around a low kind of single target DPS but a very high potential DPS on the clumped up target. She's got some legendaries that can adjust the single target DPS if she fulfills some kind of in-game quest, which we'll talk about in a second, but I do think that this is a really cool weapon to not only pressure the point, pressure objectives, but to also come in clutch when things are down to the wire in the crucial overtime moments where you're really just forced to fight on a point. Because it is a projectile, there is no fall off damage from the distance that it's shot, so as long as she has a line of sight, she's going to be able to impact a point fight relatively well. And it does mean that although in normal 1v1 situations she will be a little bit offhanded, maybe not as good as some of the other champions that she may be going against, like a hipfire Victor, she will still really be able to contribute to the point when it matters. Moving on to the other, maybe the most impactful aspect of Willow's kit, I'm so used to calling them by the development names, is her right mouse button, the dead zone. What she does with this ability is that she fires out a toxic spore that, get ready, prevents all healing in an area for 4 seconds. Enemies affected by the spore that move out of the area cannot heal for an additional 2 seconds after leaving, which means that this is essentially a 100% beyond tier 3 version of Cauterize on her right mouse button in a something second cooldown. And it's pretty damn strong, but just wait till you see the legendary for this ability as well. It is going to really blow your mind if that was surprising. But is this really that incredible? Yeah, it's very, very good, but again, it is a deployable that you just kind of shoot in an area. It creates an area or a fog of smoke like Sky's smoke screen, and you could easily move out of it. In fact, it's so counterable by good positioning and doesn't stun you that, you know, walking out of it was always what was happening, and therefore that 2 seconds of lingering allows a good fairy to at least impact the fight as much as a tier 3 Cauterize would do and give it a little bit of extra wiggle room, because that is an ability she's going to be relying on to turn the tide of a fight and really cancel out some healing in the big moments. In competitive esports, this is going to be a huge aspect of Fairy's kit, and I think going to bring a lot of the flavor and value to her as far as picks, because having the early Cauterize, not necessarily just the Cauterize, but having it immediately when you first start, negating that healing when most of the other teammates, or the enemy teammates, excuse me, who aren't playing with a fairy on their team, are going to need to build up the credits to buy Cauterize 1, Cauterize 2, Cauterize 3 to finally even that gap. It's going to mean a big deal, and so I can highly see this being one of the hinges in which her competitive value swings on. Now, Sarah's a great support at peppering the point. Willow, is going to be peppering the point as well with some seedlings. Now, these are the ones you kind of chew up and spit out when you're done, like pumpkin seeds. These are seedlings that instantly kill you. Yeah, that's right. They do a ton of damage. She throws out a seedling, and after a second, it fuses, kind of like a bomb. And so once that second is over, it will do a bit of damage and then spread into further smaller bombs bombs that will grow and cause damage as well. You have the opportunity of getting hit with all of these bombs and taking 2,500 damage total. Each bomb does 500, and again, it will spawn 4 additional ones after the first initial one, meaning a total of 5 bombs in an area and 2,500 damage possible to a group. Now, these seedlings are extremely powerful when used in the right direction, but again, like a lot of Willow's kit, the idea is that you can kind of walk away from this. You don't have to stay here and take the damage. There's no CC holding you in place, so from a casual perspective, this is going to be kind of hit or miss. Maybe you get the perfect one and just pentakill everybody who's standing on a point, or maybe a shield negates a lot of it. Maybe people just walk away and you kind of don't get anything for that ability you're counting on. It's going to go both ways, but in a competitive standpoint, this is going to be very, very impactful, I think, too, just because of the sheer amount of damage it provides and because of the tendency for either a support or a tank to always want to be on the point in those high-level games. In my experience, this is a very strong ability. I think it's an excitingly fun ability when you do everything and it all goes your way, and when it doesn't all go your way, it's kind of unremarkable. So you've got that big win condition, and you've got that kind of scenario where things don't play out and doesn't really impact the fight. But definitely a great skill, a lot of fun when it does go your way, and a really good aspect of point control that she adds into her kit. Now, her F skill, her movement skill, Flutter, it's going to allow her to propel herself forwards and upwards over a short distance. The cool thing about Flutter, and I don't need to spend too much time on this, is that you have slight air control while you're coming down and moving around. There's actually a card in her deck that allows her to adjust her air control, very much like Bomb King has Air Blast, which can give him a little bit of maneuverability as he's up in the air. It also gives her a little bit of a better vantage point for firing some of her blasts, since firing down with an AoE is a little bit more effective than trying to fire up or even straight forward, because you kind of want it to splash and hit the ground. And the other aspect about this is repositioning upwards is one of the things she's pretty good at, because this can usually take her up onto a ledge in a map, because this is multi-directional. Wherever you're facing, the dash will take you that direction. So not just sideways, you can go up, and that is a very, very big key for her escaping some of the flankers who may try to pursue her. It's not going to give her a lot of distance, so an Androxus could follow up, or an Eevee as well, but it will get her maybe over a ridge where somebody like a Lex would have to go around a corner to try and pursue her. Now it's ultimate time. I know you all wanted to hear about this, and I told you earlier that she could fly. Well, no big deal, right? Eevee flies. She flies, but not like this. Willow takes off into the air, harnesses the power of the Fae, and goes into flight for 10 seconds. During this, she can completely control the direction that she's facing, where she's moving. It is omnidirectional, up, down, left, right, a little bit down, a little bit up, anywhere she wants to go. The sky is her limit, literally. And she can fire and move and use all of her abilities while she is doing this. I'm actually not sure if she can use Flutter while doing this, but I don't think you really need to. The fact that she could fly in this game is so impactful, and this is really one of the turning points for, I think, Fairy in this game. This is going to do a lot of things for her. It's going to make her a lot harder to shoot, and that is a big advantage. This is oftentimes a getaway card. This is a card that's going to let you win a boxing duel, because you're just going to be able to easily shoot down onto targets, which is the second benefit. It's going to give her the ability to easily land her AoE shots. She could throw her cluster bomb from this, which is the Seedling, her Q, and she could spray down those left mouse buttons from her Wand of Overgrowth really easily onto any target that she wants. And the third part about it, the any target that she wants part, is that she's got vision. She can be the best scout in the game with this, because she can get so high that she sees the whole map. There's no hiding from a fairy all the way up in the air, and there's probably no killing her either. 10 seconds is an extremely long time in an FPS shooter, and this ability really allows her to kind of bring the best of both worlds of a defensive utility option, a very good offensive option, although it doesn't directly increase her damage, and a very good utility option of seeing, knowing, and anticipating where the enemy team is coming from after or during a point fight. The other thing about this is it's just fun. Everybody wants to fly, and you get this opportunity in Paladins. It feels good when you're doing it, and I think that's a real great aspect of Fairy's, oh my god, I'm gonna do this all video, Willow's kit design, that she just feels really fun to play. Now, looking at her legendary, she's got 3. Let's first talk about Scorn. Scorn is a Seedling legendary, meaning you're just going to increase the damage of each Seedling by 350. We know we're doing that 5 times, so, you know, I'm not going to do all this high-level math, but I think it's 1750 that you're actually adding to the 2500 at base. So you're looking at it's around 35, 42, 50, I think, in terms of total damage you can do on a Seedling, and that's every Seedling you throw out. That's quite a lot of extra damage. That's a really good one if you're thinking of kind of pressuring a point, and maybe there's a Bomb King on the enemy team that can pressure. You could pressure, maybe not with the stun, but with a heck of a lot of damage. Her other legendary, Blast Flower, allows her to really cool, in a really cool way, hit a target, and if she hits that target, or any target, she continues to stack up this kind of damage amp. So she'll start at 500 damage, if she hits a target, she'll be at 550 for her next attack, hits another one, she'll be at 600, she can go all the way up to that 5 times. So I believe it stacks to about 700 as her main damage weapon. And so if you consistently hit your shots, you could be hitting for much higher and really increasing your DPS. But again, that's if you complete the quest and you hit it consistently each time, which is, you know, not always the easiest thing to do. Her last legendary, Scorched Earth, is one of the ones that I think competitively we could see as super viable. It may not be necessary. Damage may be more of this champion's thing, but this really shuts down shields as well. You're going to be surprised, but Dead Zone damages shields for 50% of their maximum health over 1 second. What that means is if somebody is holding a shield up, it will take 50% damage in 1 second and 50% damage the next second, and that will be 100%. Any shield in the game will be down in 2 seconds if you throw that right mouse button on it, that Dead Zone. So what this means is that she has 100% cauterize, and within 2 seconds, a bajillion% wrecker. So it's really, really strong. If you think shields are going to be an issue for you in a game, this is definitely the legendary to take because it will nullify those almost completely and give her a really dangerous Dead Zone and allow that skill to just take off in terms of value. It's 2 of the most important items in the game currently combined into 1 right click. So very, very exciting if you're going to be a fairy main. You're going to really impact the fight quite a lot with these skills. Hopefully you all enjoyed this rundown and overview of Willow, the newest champion to enter the realm in OB49. If you guys liked it, again, please leave a like, share, comment, and one of the coolest things you can do is subscribe if you want to stay tuned to more Paladins action, more Smite action, anything on my channel. Just if you're a fan of me, definitely hit that subscribe button so you can stay tuned to any other new content I do. I'll be playing Fairy in the PTS. I'll be checking her out, of course, when she's out in live and doing more videos covering her and showing off some gameplay of the legendaries so you can really see them in action. But for now, that's going to be it for me. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and as always, remember to never give up, never stop gaming, and I'll see you all next time.